Kingdom Show. Live with play-by-play voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus. It's brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit Ford at your MidwestFordDealers.com. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Chiefs football. Here's the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus.
And good evening, everybody. The doors of the Kingdom are open tonight. Welcome to our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom Show, featuring the 6-0 Kansas City Chiefs. And featuring the best fans of the National Football League, who yesterday at Arrowhead Stadium set an all-time Guinness World Record for the loudest stadium in the National Football League. We are at a great location, and we have a fabulous venue here at the Gaslight Grill. If you're in the neighborhood, check us out. We're just south of 135th and Pryor in Leawood, and we got a little room for you. We can wedge you in here tonight. But again, we've got over 120 fans here this evening in the back room having a great time. Gaslight Grill, fabulous place for dinner anytime, or lunch or dinner, I should say, anytime during the week in the Leawood area. So thanks to Dick Hawk and providing us this venue tonight here at the Gaslight Grill. Also, we've got a great group of fans here tonight, as always. The Metcalf Bank Geeks are here. Big Tom's over here. When Big Tom shows up, the boss, they've got their own suite here at the Chiefs Kingdom here in the Gaslight Grill. The Red Coaters are here. The mainstays, as always. The Geeks are here tonight. Snowstorm Sandy's here. Autograph Geek. Sling Blade Geek is here tonight. Also, Reed's Redheads, led by the Queen of Hearts, one of the offshoots of the Geeks, as well as the Wolverines, and part of the Reed's Redheads. We have a special guest here tonight. It's Rachel the Redhead from Johnson City, Tennessee. Came all the way from Eastern Tennessee for the show this evening. Susie Bling Bling's here. Kent the Cake Baker is here. Weird Wolf is here. Also, the Paola Chiefs Beefs are here. Came up from Paola for tonight's show. Also here is Froman. He's leading the way in the backside. All right. Mentioned the Wolverines. Casey Sheff and his crew is here tonight. And Big Deb is here tonight. Super fan, Double D Deb Detweiler also here tonight. The Red Hots are here. Giving up for the Red Hots. The Lake Rats, Big Daddy Lake Rat. And a couple of the Princess Lake Rats are here tonight as well. And Big Daddy Lake Rat wanted me to say this. Of course, she was a great part of the Chiefs Kingdom show for so many years, but Big Daddy Lake Rat's wife, of course, passed away several years ago from cancer, but her memory continues. They had the Lake Lotawana Cancer Walk that raised over $7,000 this past weekend. Just outstanding. Also, you never know. It's like a Laker game when you do the Chiefs Kingdom show, especially when you're 6-0 because all the celebrities show up. We've got some celebrities here tonight. The best high school football official in the state of Kansas here tonight. We call him Stripes. Dan Sherling is here, the head linesman of one of the best crews around and a huge Chiefs fan. Also, Tom Rosberg is here tonight, who's part of our Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network crew at home games, the Marine, we like to call him. Of course, Sean the Blade Belden is here tonight. He's with the Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, newly named. And, of course, he's kind of a big deal, as well as Drake here tonight. He makes things happen on the technical end. Also, our special guest tonight, Beast Alert, ladies and gentlemen, Beast Alert. Dontari Poe is in the house. Just before our eyes, he is turning into the most impactful defensive lineman in the National Football League, leading the NFL's #1 defense. That yesterday sacked the Oakland Raiders and Terrell Pryor 10 times. And those sacks were huge. You've got it. All 10 of them were huge. Of course, to sack a quarterback in our stadium 10 times, to get 14 quarterback hurries. We'll talk with Andy Reid about it in just a moment. But to put that much pressure, duress, and problems and force Oakland into 11 penalties in that game, the Chiefs did a great job. They put the hammer down, baby. You got it. And also, a Chiefs Kingdom tradition, the Book of Sealed Signatures. Dug out of some great archaeological dig, I think, near Jerusalem and the ancient temple. Anyway, it was signed by hundreds of Chiefs fans when it appeared to be the darkest time in Chiefs history. Sealed shut and will be opened only when the Chiefs win a postseason game, and that will be a special night. As the 6-0 Kansas City Chiefs now get ready to defend the home turf again against the Houston Texans. I'm just going to say this before we go to break. There are only two teams that have never lost at Arrowhead Stadium in the 41-year history of the venue. The Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans. That should get you fired up for tonight and the rest of the show. When we come back, we'll check in with head coach Andy Reid to get his feedback on yesterday's game and look ahead to the Houston Texans. But we need to go to a break, and we'll be back on our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show after this on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Shotgun snap back to Terrell Pryor. Pass to the near side, picked off! It is picked off to the near sideline! Up the sideline, it's Abdullah! Hussein Abdullah, 10, 5, touchdown! Lock it down! Hussein Abdullah with the interception! Touchdown, Kansas City! A 44-yard pick six!
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show featuring the 6-0 Kansas City Chiefs. Another pick six. One of 3 interceptions in the game, and a third pick six this season for Kansas City as the Chiefs rout the Raiders by a score of 24-7. Again, our show tonight is at Gaslight Grill. We're just south of 135th and Pryor in Leawood. It is an amazing place to have dinner, really one of Kansas City's finest places, a jewel to have dinner. Now, would you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the man who has masterminded this terrific start and brought pride back to the Chiefs' kingdom. Welcome the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid.
Oh, you're too kind. Way too kind. Thank you. That's about 137.5 decibels right there.
And a lot of these people, Andy, were at the game yesterday. They're trying to reach back and find a little more because they haven't completely healed.
I'm not sure who was louder, the fans or you, on that last pick six.
I got a little fired up. I got a little fired up. And you know what? I got to ask you, you've been in this game your whole life, really. Going back to growing up in Los Angeles, you've been in the professional football for over 20 years. I just have to ask you about yesterday, the fans in that stadium, and what it meant to you and your team.
Well, I said this after the Dallas game. I'd never been anyplace that loud. And then this took it even another step. I think Don Terry could tell you that our ears were ringing as we were going up that tunnel after the game. It was loud. And I had a headset on, and my ears were still ringing.
And, you know, sometimes crowds absolutely. Crowds at athletic events kind of come and go. But, Andy, I sensed that crowd yesterday just came in at the start, the green flag, and took it all the way to the checkered flag. They would not relent, much like your football team would not relent against the Raiders.
Well, and they didn't stop there because I left probably an hour and a half after the game, finally got out of the stadium. They were still out in the parking lot, and that was at about 130 decibels out there. It was loud and crazy.
And not all of them. They were all hydrating, but just with different ways of hydration, kind of creative hydration. Again, this is our Midwest Ford dealers.
There are a few carbs in the hydration.
Yes, sir. I got to ask you, too, because I've not seen very often, I'm trying to think if I ever seen, you get 10 sacks, 14 quarterback hurries, 10 passes defensed, you force 11 penalties for 68 yards, you get 3 picks, including a pick 6. When you put all that together, just kind of your reaction to that kind of performance by your team.
Well, it starts with this guy that's about 340 pounds and that can move like he's about 120, and that's who you build your defense around right there. Well, I'll tell you, he's something, and he did it on a sore ankle to boot, but you build your pass game and your run game around special guys like that, and that's what Bob's done, and Doris has brought in a couple key ingredients around Don Terry and the guys, and so they're flying around and making plays. They're having fun is what they're doing. I mean, they're enjoying playing this kind of football, and it's fun to watch.
People are going to jump on it now. The crowd is the fourth phase, and I want to ask again about complementary football because it seems like the defense helps the offense, special teams, but the crowd becomes a fourth phase. How much does that mean to your defense? And they make big plays, that feeds the crowd, but the crowd, the guys tell me they hear it in the huddle, and they don't want to let anybody down. What about the fourth phase and actually being part of encouraging each other?
Well, it's huge. I mean, that's a true home field advantage, and so you saw what happened yesterday with some of the execution problems that the Raiders were having and the delay of games and so on. So it was definitely a factor, and I'm all into 4 phases of football. I like that.
And the fourth phase was huge. I want to ask you, too, about the field flip, because to me there was just one, and you had told me during the week, hey, Oakland's tough. These guys are scrappy. They're going to come after you, and they were on defense. But you flip the field. You do it every week, seemingly. You pick up 20 yards on offense. You don't score, but you kind of flip it down 7-0. And then you get the ball back in more favorable field position and able to go down and tie it at 7-7. What about the ability that you have shown now for 6 straight weeks to flip the field to your advantage?
Well, we're fortunate to have a quarterback that doesn't turn the football over, and also a punter that, that can bomb the ball. I mean, he is a weapon. So, and that helps. Now, listen, we've got a good kicker too. So scoring a touchdown and backing them up, that's even better. But for doing what's happening here right now with our solid and great defense, and it also works.
When you looked at the tape and looked at it offensively, just generally your feelings about the offense yesterday?
Well, we did some good things. We shot ourselves in the foot a couple times, but we did some. There were some good things in there. You know this, Mitch. I mean, we are a young group. We got the youngest offensive line in the National Football League, and they're getting better every week. And that right now is the important thing. We've just got to keep building on that. And you see different streaks that we kind of go through during a game, but inevitably when it's on the line and they have to score before the half, before the end of the game, the fourth quarter, they take over and they get after it. And so they're doing enough right now, but we need to do more. We need to get better, and we'll continue to do that. I've got to make sure I'm the one calling the play, so I've got to make sure that I put these guys in the right position to make plays and give them an opportunity to show off some of their skill.
Well, we kind of like this play calling that you're doing for the most part. I want to ask you did get 2 red zone touchdowns yesterday. You were 2 of 4 in red zone touchdown efficiency. You're the most improved team in the league in that category. But your ability psychologically to tie it at 7-7, but you mentioned your young offensive line. When I watched the tape today, I see Rodney Hudson, I saw Asamoah, and I saw Jeff Allen in the red zone when you had those 2 touchdown runs make critical plays. What about those interior 3, their growth, and your ability to get red zone touchdowns, not field goals?
Rodney Hudson now is playing probably as good as any center in the National Football League, and it's a tribute to him. He's coming off a season where he was injured, and he's really putting together a nice season right now. And then the guys around him, he's kind of the transmitter between the right side and the left side of the line, and he's doing a great job of that. And those guys feed off of him and feed off of his intensity. And then you got the veteran out there and Brandon Albert, so he adds a little bit of age to it, and he's still young. You've got a nice mix, and you had the rookie at right tackle, and he got himself in trouble the first couple of plays, and then all of a sudden he just settled down, and it was kind of neat to see. He just settled down, and he took over from there. So, and he's playing good physical football. So it's a good group that's getting better. Those inside 3, once those, and you said it, once they were in the red zone, they got angry in there, and they just played their hearts out. So I can deal with that. I can work with that.
Well, with the defense doing what they did yesterday with those interior 3 crushing blocks to get Jamal Charles into the end zone twice, that was an example where the Chiefs were able to put the hammer down. Baby, you got it. And to able to get that done. Now, I got to ask you about Brandon Albert. He left the field twice. First time he comes out, he goes right back into the game. And I'm going to credit you with bringing some real toughness to this team. Not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. You just brought it, and you brought it here in a hurry. What about Brandon's status for this week with Houston?
Listen, I think he's going to be okay. He bruised his knee, and he tweaked his elbow. Actually, Jamal ran into it and hurt it. So, but I think when it's all said and done, he's a tough nut. He'll be fine, and it'll all work out. So, but Donald Stevenson stepped in again and did a nice job. So, you got to attribute these guys that are, and we practice with really 8 of them now that they're healthy and they rotate during practice. So, if they have an opportunity to get in the game, it shows. They play, and they've done a pretty good job with it.
I want to ask you about that because I've noticed during practice you'll have those guys just from time to time. Donald goes in at left tackle. He might go in at right guard, or Schwartz goes in at left guard. Is that by design, or you're saying, hey, just kind of pick this up, or as if it's a sudden situation in a game? Is it by design that you have those guys rotate like that?
Well, not during the game. I mean, normally the 5 play, but just in case injuries do take place to the big guys, it just happens during games. So, during practice, what Andy Heck does is he rotates them in, and there are 8 of them that kind of play during practice. The 3 backups, and then the 5 starters. So So if something does happen, they go in and they're not shell shocked when they get in there. They know what they're doing and they execute.
And to accentuate your point, of your 5 offensive linemen, 3 have missed at least one game. I mean, that doesn't usually equate to 6-0 in the NFL. So it just brings your point up there. But I want to ask you this. I asked you on the pregame too, but I think it's important for all of our fans here tonight. We've got over 150 fans here tonight, but also listening in 6 states to us this evening. You really have – people say next man up mentality. You hear it all the time at football at all levels. But when someone says it with your belief, you don't flinch. When you don't – I mean, because you've missed key guys now for all 6 games that you've won. Where does that – is it from experience, but you don't seem to flinch saying next man up, we'll figure it out?
Well, listen, I've been there as a player. I've been the 6th man. I understand how that works, and you come in and play. It's another man's opportunity if one man goes down, and if you approach it that way, and it's great competition. Doris has brought in a lot of guys here for great competition. You got guys, and you can ask Don Terry this, that believe in those backups, so they know that there's quality in the backup positions, and so they have trust in that person that comes in, and they respect his ability to play the game, which inevitably is the most important thing once you're out on the field, and they don't lose a beat. So it's part of this game. This is a physical game, and guys are going to have to play. Backups are going to have to play. We're not as endurance-oriented as you are. I mean, we're not blessed with these vocal cords that go on forever, that set these decibel records. We've got these guys hitting and beating on us that, that you're going to be sore and hurt, and you might have to come out. So that next guy goes in, and he plays.
Burkholder's helped me too. He's got a staple gun and some glue back there or something. But
well, there's nobody that is as good as you. That's the problem. Huh?
No,
fans, what do you say? I mean, come on now. Give them a little.
Oh, man.
Are the redheads there?
They're here, and they're as ornery as ever. They're here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You got your redheads here, and they're loving being 6-0, and they love setting that record.
If you check Don Terry's hair out real close, you're going to see he's got a little red right at the end.
You're right. I've never noticed that before.
That's right.
Wow, it's a Memphis redhead. Before we let you go, I got to ask you about Houston, and these guys are a real enigma. Man, they were thought to be a team that could challenge for the Super Bowl. Andy, they got Hall of Famers on their roster, not just Pro Bowlers. Guys like Ed Reed over there and Shane Leckler, good players. What are you seeing, and what do you have to do to go to 7-0 and beat these guys?
Well, the one thing the players will see it right away is that they're a good football team. I think the players already know that, but they've got a tremendous talent. They've been bitten by a bit of the turnover bug, and that's hurt them a little bit. But they're putting up huge numbers, and their defense is, I believe, ranked number 1 in the NFL right now. Their offense is putting up astronomical numbers, and as far as total yardage goes, and they've got good special teams. So we've got to make sure that we prepare ourselves, and we're going to study them hard, and then get ourselves right and ready to play our 7th game. Most of all in Arrowhead Stadium, which is a special place to play in front of our fans, and we'll be ready to go.
Well, fans, get rested. Andy's going to study him and get ready to go. You need to get ready as well. Let's send him back to work. Andy, thank you so very much for being with us tonight. Andy Reid, your head football coach of the 6-0 Kansas City Chiefs.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mitch. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And when we come, beast alert. When we come back, we're going to hear from Dontari Poe, and we're also going to hear from the man from the Guinness Book of World Records. You won't want to miss it when we come back. We're at the Gaslight Grill, 135th and Briar in Leawood on our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show. We'll be back with more. And Dontari Poe, after this, you're listening to exclusive coverage of Chiefs football. still get chills hearing that, and I listened to it about 10 times last night and today. That was Kendall Gammon on our sideline report on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network when the record was broken, and it sounded like he was talking about Maurice Green at the Olympics. It was absolutely an unforgettable moment, and most of you were there. I'm on a great crowd here tonight on our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show. Again, we're at Gaslight Grill just south of 135th and Pryor in Leawood. Dick Hawk always has Lynn Zimmer and the Jazz Band, and we're in the back room tonight. If you want to come join us, a fabulous crowd here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming out. Before we get to the Beast Alert, we have a special guest on with us from New York City. However, he's from the UK originally. His name is Philip Robertson. He was here at the stadium yesterday. He is with the Guinness World Record folks. Philip, good evening.
Good evening to you all, and hello, new world record holders.
Philip asked you, how are the new world record holders?
I would guess that's fairly content then.
They just walk us through now the moment. I had a chance to meet you after the game. It was fabulous. But just kind of walk us through the actual moment when the meter hit 137.5 and what happened.
Well, what a build-up as well. I mean, a fantastic setup for a Hollywood ending. You're playing your arch rivals who you've lost 6 times against at home. You're heading into a 5-0, potentially 6-0 situation after last year's rather awkward performance, and all of a sudden you're on top and you're building it up. But the noise wasn't quite there. Really, up until about the final minute of the game, the record was not even close. I mean, you were 2 to 3 decibels down, and then from nowhere, I think Bill and Jane Martin, the crew at the Chiefs, I think they must have put a message up onto the board, and they did a great job corralling all the Chiefs fans, and they all came down to where we were by the end zone. And from nowhere, this noise just erupted. I think it must have been the sacking of Terrell Pryor, because something added to the event and created a catalyst moment, and then it just exploded. And I've never heard a noise like it. I mean, the Seahawks were incredible, really, really loud, but they'd been kind of loud throughout most of the game. But this came from nowhere. It's just incredible. What a noise.
Well, Philip, we're going to let you go this evening. Thank you so much for coming to Kansas City. But before we go, you've been to a lot of venues, a lot of events. I mean, you're the guy that's gauging these records. What was unique to you yesterday about being there in the sea of red in front of all these fans?
Well, I really like the Midwest. It's just full of good people who love their sports. And I think the thing that stuck out for me the most was that everyone was behind their team. There was no booing, there was no one getting down, and it was all really strong positive reinforcement, and I think that's going to stand with me for a while. And I've got a soft spot for the Chiefs for the rest of the season, if not life.
Well, welcome to the kingdom, Philip.
Thank you very much. They're a fine group of people, and I love my barbecue out there.
Well, you should. And I know you're part of the United Kingdom growing up there, but you're now part of the Chiefs Kingdom, so consider yourself one of the group.
Thank you very much, and I'm happy to be part of it too. Congratulations, enjoy the world record, and have a great season.
Philip Robertson, everybody, from the Guinness World Record crew, and he was the guy that officially had the record. Now, hit the Beast Alert. Here we go. Susie Blingling's got the Beast Alert. We are here again on our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show, but let me introduce to you now a guy who is turning into the biggest beast in the National Football League. Dontari Poe is our guest tonight. And this image, I want you to take back to the fellas.
Thank you. Yeah, I will do that.
I'm not sure. There you can hear the Beast Alert. There you go. We got the Beast Alert out there. Send it to the Houston Texans. They need to get it's exciting for me to see this reaction for you, because I'm not sure any of us appreciate how hard you have worked in the offseason. Once that season ended a year ago, if there's one person that has epitomized becoming just a fabulous, different player in person. It's you. When did it start, and what did you do to get yourself in a position now to be the top defensive nose tackle in this league?
It started once last season ended. Once I found the record was 2-14. It was just something that I never wanted to relive or never wanted to go back to. So I just want to do everything I could personally to turn that around.
Amen.
Outstanding. Okay, so what did you do physically? A lot of people have talked about you getting in shape, but did you have your own personal workouts before the OTAs and stuff, or what'd you do?
I mean, I worked out. I trained the same place I trained at coming out of college for the combine, so in Arizona. But it was no magic to it. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of hard work, and just staying strong and strong physically and mentally. Basically, what it was.
So, did you have a couple people that just kept pushing you and pushing you?
Yeah, my brothers always pushing me. They stay on me every day. If ever I'm doing something wrong, he'll look at me and say 2-14. It's kind of something that he'll never let me live down, and I mean, I'm grateful for it. He pushed me to be where I am.
That's awesome. So let's call him after the show and go 6-0.
Yes, sir.
I'll make that call with you. Now let's talk about this defense and your teammates, because I love to see this all come together. It's like this great tapestry. I mean, at all levels, everybody going around. Just talk about this defense and how it's turned into a band of brothers.
It's exactly what you said. It's a band of brothers. No matter what's going on, injuries or whatever it may be, your person steps in just like they're the starter. We're not going out there wide out. We're going out there ready to attack, and that's just how it's been all year. We're going out there fighting together. No matter what happens, no matter what adversity comes through, we're sticking together and we're fighting.
4.5 sacks, ladies and gentlemen. That's 31 sacks as a team. I said it late in the broadcast yesterday. The late Derek Thomas would have been proud of these guys. 31 sacks in 6 weeks? That's crazy. What's going on?
Football, baby.
We're rushing. Yeah, we're playing football. That's all I can say about it. Like I said, every person is working hard. No matter what it is, we compete with each other. We compete on Sundays to see who will get the most sacks. So, I mean, it's just us fighting and just competing and working hard.
What's been impressive to me, Dontari, is the fact your guys' run fits. When I watch the tape, and run fits, you got an assignment, you got a gap. You're talking about, hey, everybody wants to beat everybody else out, but you're not sacrificing your assignment, are you, in this? And what about your run fits, and what about DeVito and Tyson and Allen and the other guys?
We kind of take it personal. Us up front, the three up front, D linemen, me, Mike DeVito, Tyson Jackson, on just running backs and rushing yards. And I knew we were serious because after every game, Tyson and DeVito, they're the first ones to grab the stat sheet and say how many rushing yards does the other team have. So we kind of take it personal. We just put it on our shoulders to just make sure that nobody just explodes on us. And like I said, we're playing good team defense.
That's how you build the best defense in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. Dontari Poe is with us. And when we come back, we'll talk about Dontari and do some special things he's doing off the field. And we'll be back with Dontari Poe again. We're at Gaslight Grill, 135th and Briar, just south of Briar in Leawood. Here on our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show from Gaslight Grill. We'll be back with Dontari after this on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Shotgun snap to the former Tiger. In the pocket. He is going to be sacked. Dontari Poe gets his first National Football League sack.
Welcome back to Gaslight Grill and our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show. That was the first sack in Dontari's career. It came in week 1 this season. He was real close last year to getting a whole bunch of them. But that's 4.5 sacks by a nose tackle, ladies and gentlemen, in 6 weeks. That's hard to do in the National Football League, but not for our guest tonight, Dontari Poe. All right. And a special thanks to Brad G tonight and Caitlin here from the Chiefs PR department. Brad's got his great family here. Megan, former Iowa State Cyclone star, and with us tonight, the top teacher in the Liberty school system up in the north part of the metro. Anyway, yesterday, Dontari, Stefan Wisniewski didn't play. He was injured. That's the first center. Boom. So Andre Gerard, he's a veteran. Dontari takes care of him. Good. He's gone. Now they're going to move the right guard, Mike Brizell, to center. That puts the Topeka High kid over at right guard. It was, listen, in the Chiefs Kingdom, you getting rid of centers. Okay. To me, that was a great case of put the hammer down. Well, they kept putting guys in there. You're going, I'll just get rid of this guy. Now who you got? I mean, they were out of centers.
Yes,
what was that like?
It was different. You kind of study a person on film, and once one of them goes out, you kind of just playing football. But I mean, it's a part of the job description, so it is what it is, man.
Andy talked about you guys having fun on defense. It is fun for me to watch you on tape. I mean, instead of analyzing, I'm just going, now what's he going to do next? It was fun to watch you in St. Joe. It was fun to watch you all throughout practice. How much fun are you having now?
An unbelievable amount. Football is fun, period, but when you're fighting to keep an undefeated record, it's that much more fun. 6-0 is that much more fun, so everything about it is just fun.
And the Chiefs are number 1 defensively. You're only giving up. They're just over 10 points a game. That's crazy. And in 5 major categories. And speaking of defense, let's pick up now our Time Warner Cable turning point play of the game. This thing was a fight, man. 7-7. Just slug it out, knock it out. Yep. And then this play happened.
Pryor's got McFadden. Same formation to his left. Takes the snap. Looking left, pressured. He just floats it over the middle. The pass is intercepted at the 30-yard line. Playing center field. Quentin Demps has his 3rd pick of the season.
Quentin Demps with the interception. And listen, I respect Terrell Pryor. I don't know what he was thinking on that one. Did he see you coming after him?
I'm guessing that's what it was. I have no idea.
Because he just got rid of it like hot potato, and that changed the game. Now, let's talk about some of the stuff you're doing off the field because it's pretty cool. You'll hear me say during the game, Big Macs for sacks. I don't know if they thought there were going to be 31 sacks in 5 weeks. But what about that and what you're doing with the Ronald McDonald House?
I mean, it's really big. As you know, the Ronald McDonald House is a good call for the kids. And the Big Mac for sacks is not my fault that they made it up. But like I said, it's just a great thing, you know, just for people to be able to get free food after the game because of what we're doing. So it's a great call.
That's why everybody's excited. They got the free food. 137 decibels. But I've seen you interact with the kids, and I love it. I watch you at camp in St. Joe or watch you, before or after a game. Just what about your love for kids especially? Because it seems like your eyes light up when you see them.
I mean, it does, because when I was a kid, I kind of wished for somebody to kind of show up and be me, you know what I'm saying? Just to show up and just kind of talk to me and just at least have a smile on his face. So I try to be that guy for kids nowadays to just give them a bright thing to look forward to.
Well, yesterday I said he was like the Liberty Memorial in there. They couldn't move him, or a grain elevator trying to block him. It's just cool to see this. And what about the fans yesterday? Now, I'm talking in your defensive huddle, DJ's going to make the defensive call, but when you hear this roar, what does it do for you guys?
Amazing. I was a little tired. I think it was in the first half when we got close to the record. And I was a little tired, and I started hearing them, and I was feeling it in my chest, and just took away all the fatigue, just gave me all the energy that I needed, and I remember when they broke the record, I was standing this close to Derek, and he was talking, and nothing was coming out. I couldn't hear nothing he was saying, and I just knew right then that it was pretty special.
Could you sense it from the Raiders? Because, I mean, you guys had such an effect on the game. Arrowhead is back. Yeah. It's back. It's back. It's just, I mean, could you tell it from them? I mean, if you can't hear DJ 6 inches from you or whatever, what are they trying to do?
I could. I looked directly at the offense before the plays, and I'm looking at them in that huddle, and, usually offense is a circle, and all of them started poking closer because they couldn't hear anything, and it was just, it was the best feeling in the world.
Man, this is exciting. And this guy is one of the best players now in the National Football League. Dontari Poe is with us, and he is fast, and he's agile, and he's tough, and he's huge. Love it. We'll be back to close out the show. Again, we're at the Gaslight Grill, Dick Hawk's fabulous location, 135th and Pryor, just south of 135th Street in Leawood. Back to wrap things up on this edition of our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom Show. After this, you're listening to exclusive coverage of Chiefs football.
Show a pistol set. Murray is behind Tony Romo. Brings tight end James Hanna. Tip-tap motion. Now he's in the backfield. Romo takes the snap. He's going to be engulfed and sacked. Back at the 37-yard line. Dontari Poe.
Are you kidding me?
Even Lenny chuckled on that one as Dontari was able to eat Romo for a snack. We are back. on this edition of our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom Show at Gaslight Grill. Just a wonderful location in Leawood, just south of 135th and Briar. This is a great place to check out all throughout the week, and really one of the top spots throughout the metro area of Kansas City. Again, Dontari Poe is our guest tonight as Kansas City looks to go to 7-0, and that's where I want to ask you about here, because I'm so impressed with Andy Reid. People want to talk about this game or that game. What about keeping your focus on just the next team ahead, being the Houston Texans?
Coach is a great motivator. He knows how to get all of us focused at any given time. But like I said, it's no complacency with us. We're going in fighting for ourselves, fighting for each other. And we know the next step is the most important, so we'll be ready for it.
I haven't sensed from the guys at all a feeling of either looking ahead or thinking, hey, we're 6-0. I mean, these guys are on task. You guys are all on task, just like looking at – does it come from Andy? Does it come from each other? Is it a combination of all that, your assistant coaches?
It's a combination. I know on defense, Coach Sutton tells us a lot. It's turning points in every season. It can go south in the snap of a hand and then keep going good at the same call. So he just makes sure we're always on point, we're always working hard.
I got to ask you about your position coach, Tommy Brazier. If you haven't seen him, he's Yoda. He seriously is Yoda from Star Wars, right? He's like, I want to say this respectfully, he's like 89 years old, and that's good, but he's always in the fridge looking for candy bars and stuff. I mean, this guy, and he's coaching you, and he's got Tyson, he's got DeVito. I'm like, it's Yoda. What's it like being coached by him?
Coach, we call him TB. He's a very old guy. At the same token, he's with that age comes a lot of knowledge, and he shares with us all the time things we can do to get better. Just anything. I haven't seen a time yet where he doesn't have an answer for a question that we've had. So he's a great coach.
He is very impressive. And then quickly, your thoughts on the Houston Texans?
Good team, but we're playing Chief football, man. We're playing Chief football. We'll try to notch another win under our belt. But like I said, good team, a very respectable team. But they got to get ready coming in there ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is simply one of the best in the league. Dontari Poe leading this defense up front at the nose tackle position. Next week, we go back to Dave and Buster's at the Legends in Justin, Houston. Beast Alert will be our guest on the Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for coming out tonight here at Gaslight Grill. Thanks to our great fans. You set the record, and now we got to go 7-0 against the Houston Texans. Join us next week right here on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Touchdown!